Alright guys, welcome back. After show. Episode number 24. Prot Paladins. Are we all here? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
There we go. Woo! So we got a timetable here. We got about 20 minutes or so with Mr. Slooty McToot. I'll make sure to get him out of here on time. What movie are you going to see tonight?
The Hobbit, obviously.
Yeah!
Seen it yet?
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Late to the game, sir. Late to the
Gotta
game.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
I will.
I
I'll
loved
come
it.
on in episode 25.
Yeah, are you?
Just
Are
to
you?
tell you guys at the very
Just
end.
pop in the call when Leeds and Tickler here and just like, oh, so the Hobbit was really good. Yeah. No, it's fine. Are you seeing it in high frame rate 3D IMAX?
No.
Non-believer!
Are you crazy?
Shun! No, it's fine. Shun. Alright. So I'm going to check Twitter here real quick. I don't think we had any questions coming in yet. I'll give people some time if they want to throw us some questions on the Twitter. I wanted to go over Glyph of Battle Healer. And how much of a nerf was this for you guys? And was it overpowered before, you think? Like, was it the nerf, like, good? I think it was merited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just,
okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
It got increasingly stronger with increasing vengeance levels. And
Yeah.
It just started getting out of hand, that's all. Was it a nerf to us? Not really. It was a nerf to the radio. That's all it was.
Yeah, okay. That's
But
fine.
now it's just such a weird choice because it lowers the healing no matter what on yourself, so and the raid healing as well, so it's like not really much of a choice now unless like there's no survivability issues. But if there's no survivability issues for you, it's not usually that much survivability issues for the raid, and if you're not getting any vengeance anyway because no survivability issues, you're not healing the raid anyway, so
Okay. Alright. Fair enough. Do you still use it? Is the question now. No?
Oh, God, no.
No?
no.
Theck put that in parentheses. Do you still even use it? Okay. So what do you use now for major glyphs? What do you usually major glyph now for Prot?
Divine protection pretty much all the time.
Yeah?
I swap it, yeah,
shield.
most of the time. I
Okay.
swap between 5 majors just depending on the fight. Alabaster, DP, Wog, what am I missing? Final Wrath as a DPS option, and Focus Shield.
Focus shield, yeah.
Focus shield? Yeah. Okay.
There's quite a lot of fights that actually where you need to have more DPS in the end of the fight, so at 20% sub. So Final Wrath is actually a pretty big favorite for me, even though I don't use it everywhere, but like fights like Garrosh, he goes down low, and not to mention that's the burst fight. Yeah, and that's the burst fight as well, like one at a time.
Well,
so.
I mean, you carried your first kill of that fight, if we don't recall. Let's take a step back in time here. You lived in your bubble and killed it, so that glyph carried, maybe?
Well, I was high in damage as well, but I mean,
Oh,
You're blushing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit there, a little red. Yep, had to put you on the spot for that one. That's been like 4 months ago now. You guys have been done with this, though, so you probably don't even... Yeah, had to bring it up. And you know what? I was thinking, Anna, when I was getting water, that these guys didn't even congratulate us on finally finishing the tier last week.
I did. Hey,
We're
I
so far
did. I
behind.
told Anna.
We're so far behind.
He
You're
did tell me.
35th, and I'm 37th. You 34th.
I know.
34th. Like, come on, it's not...
34th
what's that in world
37th
rankings?
US.
Oh, what the heck, world rankings? I don't even know. I haven't even checked. I usually leave our guild thing
Well,
on...
I'm first on the realm list, so that's pretty good.
Well, yeah, you are.
Actually, we had a really good week this week because there's another really great 25-man guild on our server, and they also finished US top 40. And
like
I just
2 hours
remember-
after us, or something like that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and they're a really nice group of people too. And I just remember
Yeah.
thinking, like, yes, it's really nice to have 2 really great 25-man guilds, and they give us a run for our money, and we give them a run for their money. And
That's
it was
good.
a really good week for everybody on Whisperwind, and I feel like our server has been doing really well lately.
That's good. We don't have... We don't have any other one to compete with on Bailgun now. We have a new guild that's coming in saying they're going to beat us everything in Mythic, so we'll see about that. But like we have a friend guild that's on Horde that is over halfway through, but that's all we have on Bailgun. So I haven't felt that like on server fight and like ladder for a while. So it's cool you guys have that, and you guys are all friendly about it too. It's not like a
Yeah, I've been on servers with a really negative kind of progression mentality, and that's definitely not what we have on my server, and it makes the whole rating race even more pleasant. So.
yeah.
I have a question for these guys. I mean, we've been
for it.
talking about it on every show so far, so I think Bay and I can skip this one.
Sure.
But I wanted to know what y'all's favorite fight of the expansion was, and you may have to set aside Lei Shen because I know we've had the Lei Shen discussion before.
The expansion, not just the tier.
Of the expansion,
Of MOP,
not
yeah,
just
of
not just the tier of MOP.
I really liked Animus.
You did? You
Yeah.
liked Animus?
No, yeah, I did. It's not that many people liked it that much, but I really did. I thought it was really hilarious fight actually. But Siegecrafter, like, is still a better fight. In so many ways, it's just so rewarding for everyone, I think. So.
Yeah.
And you guys had a very unique experience on Animus because you created the strat. I mean, there was nobody else who had it. Most of the rest of us who did Animus had all the math laid out for us in terms of what to kill when. But you guys really created that from scratch. So I can see how that would be interesting.
That's the case for most fights. So yeah. All the fights you get.
Oh, I know. I mean that is the case.
Well, maybe Sloot can't relate, but that's how it always works.
I know, but the difference on Animus between going in with no plan and going in with a plan someone else had made. I mean, there are a lot of fights where the plan doesn't really affect the fight very much, but in the case of Animus,
we had some very interesting like graphs and like pictures and stuff of how we should do it. So just to min max everything. So it was fun to progress, but there was cases where it's like, okay, two people started discussing, everyone else went AFK for 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it's like, okay, we do it this way. And it's like everyone comes back and it's like, what do we do? It's like, oh, well, we do this.
Where are we again?
2 minute like strat cover, and it's like, because sometimes you just need to discuss and do like throw some ideas.
Is that when Sko goes and like prunes his eyebrows, makes sure they're perfect, you know, sets his hair up for the fight and stuff? That's his time when you guys are jibber jabbing about the fight. Yeah. Okay.
He's eating though.
Oh, he's eating. That's also what he does.
Yeah. Chat's naming Will. I actually named Will in a previous episode as a fight that I would have really liked if I'd been doing a real tank or a real DPS role.
Will was, I think, fun overall, but not as a tank, really. All you did was just sit there and dodge. You didn't do anything.
It was funny dodging, but after like 6-7 minutes doing the exact same thing.
And nothing ever changed.
Yeah, nothing changed. So it's like the same fight, face the whole fight. That was
kind of the problem with a lot of fights in Tier 14 and 15. Like Shaw of Fear, it's the same thing. Like
23-minute fight? Come on.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just, only thing that changes is you get like one extra ad every wave. So it's like a soft enrage. But you do the same thing every time. So,
I remember saying earlier in this episode where I had liked Shaw of Fear because it was neat for me to experience active mitigation. And I thought to myself after I said that, but gosh darn, that fight was so boring because it was so long. And I didn't go on because the conversation had moved on. But I remember I said that and then I was like, yeah, but there's a caveat here.
Yeah, okay. I've always stuck with, Nob, I don't know if he's still here or not, but I love bosses that have like story tie-ins. Story tie-ins that have something that actually, like, you know, something that's not just like thrown in the game somewhere randomly. It's like, oh, here's a boss, like, but that has no like repercussions. So
just some random dude.
Yeah, it's like this is a guy right here. So
what about you, Slooty? We didn't hear your answer.
Yeah.
I gotta say that Garelon was the worst thing ever made. Just for starters.
I think I said that last week, actually.
I mean, I'm gonna just like, it's boring for me. Okay, the non-boring answer, which would be Siegecrafter, because I love that fight. I guess I really, for some reason, very much liked Khan and Darumu, but that's because that was in the prime of like Pally single tanking, so it was very fun for me to do that. You know, not necessarily the fight itself, but just fun to do it as a solo tank. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, that's fair. A lot of times your role on a fight and your opinion of that fight's design as a whole are a little bit different. Like, I've definitely loved fights that I thought were really boring on paper. Like, I've loved doing them because I happened to do something interesting. Or I've really admired fights that just drove me up a wall to do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's what's fun about Siegecrafter is there's stuff to do, you know what I mean? And I was actually just reading tweets the other day when they were saying that, you know, it is a concern for... Are you on wine now? It's a concern... is that it's a concern for them to make it so that it's not the whole boring 2 debuffs tank swap, 2 debuffs tank swap thing anymore for tanks, so tanks actually have something to do. And that's what made Siegecrafter so fun and successful, in my opinion, for tanks, because not only do you have to focus on what the boss was doing, stack management for tanks, but then you have to deal with the ad on top of that, drag it out, kill it, all that kind of stuff. So there's always something fun to do as a tank rather than just like Thock, you know, wait, taunt, wait, taunt. So,
yeah, fair enough.
It's interesting to see. They've tested a lot of, and I've said this like every episode in a row, but I really look forward to raiding Mythic and 6.0 because they've learned so much from Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah.
just so many, they have so much behind the scenes, all the analytics they've captured, all the balancing they've known has worked and not worked. It's going to be interesting to see how they fix that. And all 3 tiers, if you really want to break them down, were all very different in the overall, like, how they approached them, with the gating with 14 and the 3 different wings, to the single one-shot straight through instance with tier 15, to the slight divergent, mostly the same, but 3 different instances in one with Siege of Orgrimmar and raiding a player city for one.
But,
So,
I mean, there's kind of a pattern, though, if you look at it, and I wouldn't be surprised if WoD does the same thing. Some gross calling it that. Anyway.
call it Warlords. It's called
Warlords. Please, let's call it Warlords.
I like WoD better. It's that, you know, what's been happening in expansions is first tier, there's like 2 or 3 instances.
Choices.
Yeah, 2 or 3 instances. Either choices like tier 11 or it's going to be gated. Then the second tier is like always just a one huge massive thing. Think about like the past 2-3 expansions. And then the last one is, again, just a big massive thing, right? Last expansion in Cata, right? You had tier 11, you had like, what, 3 instances, then you had Firelands, then you had DS. You know, Wrath, same thing. You had all those multiple instances, then you had Oldor, then you had, well, Crusader, and then you had ICC. So it's kind of the same formula, which I would expect that they follow for
I think,
Warlords.
do we have a confirmed denied that there's 2 raid dungeons at the start of
There are, yeah.
17? There's 2,
They
yeah.
did. They did say that there's more than one.
Yeah. I think 2. Yeah, 2 is what I heard.
At least 2, yeah. It's the Ogre Castle, and then the Ogre Castle goes to the... do we know what's past that? We have the first one, which is the Ogre Giant Temple thing we saw, the Giant Mountain. And then we don't know. We have to do that first, I would assume. That's what they said.
I don't remember what they were.
Yeah.
Treckie was distracting me. BlizzCon all the time.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
yeah,
his hair was distracting you or something.
Funny story for you guys. So the night before the race, right? we're all at Midwinter having some drinks, okay?
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. That's right.
Blackrock
And
Foundry.
you know, and Sko and all the Method guys are there.
Yeah.
For BlizzCon are at the house, we're having some drinks, and Rack, their I guess manager, is like, all right, you guys, we have to go to bed. You know, big race tomorrow. So they leave, and Midwinter House is kind of dying down, and it's like 4 in the morning, and we had to get up at 7 or some terrible hour to go set up and all this stuff. So we're like, okay, 3 hours of sleep before a race, whatever. 20 people in the race, and then Treckie shows up at 4 in the morning at the door. And it's like, well, what do you want? He's like, oh, man, I'm just coming here to hang out. Let's have some beers and stuff. And I'm like, what? Is this, like, method ploy to, like, make us not sleep the night before the race? So Treckie just sat there until, like, 6 in the morning. Nobody slept the night before the race.
Yeah, you guys, I saw you guys on the floor after the race, and you were getting pizza. You looked a little strung out. You looked a little tired. We were up very late. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Wow, I missed that. I must have gone home before Treckie showed up.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, he showed up at like every.
People were leaving, and then I came in, and it's like everyone was like, we're kicking everyone out." So they kicked everyone out, and then I was there with on the Midwinter people, and it's like, well, we can still drink and have fun for a bit, but then it's like I sort of have to go, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what I said this earlier in the main show, but I'm still working on the edited highlight reel of the live raid from BlizzCon 2013. I'm trying to get it down to like a watchable format that it makes it look like it's a lot more fun than it actually was to be there after a little while. Like the crowds were awesome and the commentating was great, so I'm trying to capture that and give it to you guys, but it's still in the works. All I have right now is just the highlight of the whole event, but that's still going to be there. And yes, Sko's in the chat right now. I can confirm with him, so he was curious about this at BlizzCon. I do have footage of you putting on the Blood Legion headband.
Shitbag.
I do.
Harsh.
Just so you know, all right? I do that for you, buddy. All right. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, I'm like super far away because I'm on like the media stand, but it's still there because all I think I've seen on the internet of him right now was that small little picture someone took on a camera phone or something.
I mean, I just want to say, Blood Legion gave me a T-shirt, and it was really cool. None of the rest of you guys gave me any swag. I was wearing that Blood Legion T-shirt home from BlizzCon, and I got comments on it, too.
I actually have a
Blood Legion?
BL wrist sweatband in my room.
I think
right
I got
now.
one as well.
Weird.
Really?
But at the live race, we're behind the stage, like people on the stage. So Sko and Roger and just like we're behind the stage. No, was it Roger? Yeah, we're behind the stage waiting. And I went to the bathroom right before we were about to walk out on stage, and I was just doing my business. And then like Sko and Roger walk in eerily behind me while I'm at the urinal, and I'm like. Oh, so this is how it's gonna be before the race. Like finish up, I'm like washing my hands, and we leave, and Sko's just like stays in there. I was like, why is Sko staying in there? And they're like, he's doing push-ups before the race. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, secret.
Wow. And they're both like, you're not a short guy, Sloot, but Roger and Sko are like giants.
I'm 6 foot. I think Sko is 6'3".
And Roger's like
tall,
19 feet tall.
Trekkie's pretty tall too, man. Trekkie's like 6'2", 7'5".
Yeah.
I came up to Trekkie's belly button.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Treckie, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Pretty
I'm like
much.
6'2", I think.
Yeah.
I'm 5'2". I'm very short.
You could almost put Anna, like, you looked her up and put her on top of the meeting stone. That's how tall you were. And the meeting stone is, you know, that was a huge thing. That was fun. But
I'm a small person.
Yeah, I just read in chat Angstland talking about Roger Brown's pool adventures at the Midwinter house.
I heard, yeah, that he ruined his, I was going to bring it up, but I didn't want to be like an ass because he got dunked. But
Self-dunked, yeah.
yeah.
Went for a little
Self-dunked.
swim.
I know another thing that we all enjoyed at BlizzCon, at least I did, was that Paladin meetup at the Meeting Stone, and that was put together by Theck, and I thought it was really neat. I saw both of you guys there, and Absalom was there, and Samayan was there, and lots of other Paladins were there. Carrie was there. Obviously, Theck was there, and Riddick and Mallory, lots of Paladins.
Speaking of Paladins, because I screwed it up earlier today, and he deserves it, sacredduty.net is Theck's awesome blog for wait for it, Protection Paladins.
You said Ret, and I could hear it coming out of
I said it. Yeah.
I could hear it coming out of my headphones while I was walked away from the computer, and I'm like, is he really saying that?
I don't know
like,
why.
Really?
I have no idea. I was off on the tangent about him and just Ret stuck in. But yeah, sacredduty.net is where he posts all of his awesome Prot stuff. So go check him out over here. All this stuff. All this stuff. So yeah, you can go check that out. I'm sure there are bunny pictures somewhere.
We're not getting any questions for these guys, so I guess we'll have to just come up with some on our
So I
own.
answered everything.
I know. You guys have been through
In the
everything.
show.
So Adam Lowe came back again and said, what was the best moments they ever had while raiding? Like Trekkie winning the fight on Garrosh, for example. Like, were there any, like, standout, like, fist pump moments for you guys? Were there really big deals? I mean, that might be Trekkie's, but were there any, like, big clutch saves you guys had during raid progression? That's hard to beat, yeah.
That's hard to beat, Garrosh. But we actually were really close on our first pull of Protectors. It's a face roll boss or whatever, but it's like bosses are like 5% each, and only me and Sko alive, and we're getting down to like 300 HP before I die. That's just so bad. But tank survivability is so good these days on the easy fights that you don't really need healers on you at all.
In fact, that's the big surprise of Warlords. Just the healing is being taken out of the game. It's just DPS and tanks now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Harsh.
Harsh.
How about you, Sloot?
I think honestly, mine and Midwinter's was definitely Siegecrafter for us because it was world third. Yeah. It was the highest boss kill we've ever had in terms of world ranking, and it was one of the first, at least in recent memory. Like one of the first bosses we've really, like, you beat that video publicity curve.
Sure.
No information about the boss, and that's why when you look at Method's tactic, BL's tactic, and our tactic, they're all completely different for that boss, and that's also what made it such a great boss, is that you could do all those different things. So that was a really big moment for us.
Does anyone else in the world really do Method strat on Blackfuse? Because watching you guys do that is painful.
Well,
oh my god.
That's something that goes through every time, though. It's like, you see Ragnaros, we do tactic no one else does. We do Siegecraft, no one else does that. We do Garrosh, no one else does that. It's like, I don't know. We just come up with something that works for us, and everyone else comes up with something that works for them, and it's like, well, that's weird.
I have kind of a question for you guys, because I know both of you stream quite a bit. And I don't stream at all, so I love to talk to people who do stream. What is the big draw that you feel from streaming? Like, what do you enjoy most about it? Just the ability to interact with your viewers, or?
I think for me, I've been able to stream in the past like month or so because of holidays and stuff, unfortunately. But I'm back now. Anyway, for me, it's not just interacting with viewers, but being able to just, not through forums because it's not as efficient, like, communicate my ideas, contribute to the community about tanking, whether it's right or wrong. Just say, hey, here's my idea, hey, here's what I'm doing, and then interact with people, and people bounce ideas back and forth like you wouldn't believe. They send you PMs, they ask for stuff. So it's really just about being able to engage with the tanking community about what you're doing. And I've always been a fan of talking to the viewers in my stream all the time and being like, well, this is why I'm doing this, or this is my thoughts on this, and blah blah blah. So That's the big drawing for me.
Yeah, it's like community feedback and relations. That's so much what makes it worth a while for me. Talking to people and just such as bouncing ideas, and it makes you learn a lot, even if you don't always especially about odds and stuff. Like, you can balance ideas and compare classes very well.
Yeah.
I think with having an active stream and just having people chip in their ideas, because everyone doesn't have you don't get everything right away. You need multiple perspectives from boss fights, different classes, different strategy guides and everything like that. So just you're not able to really condense that into the same thing through forums, because you don't have that kind of same instant response all the time that you have on streams.
Cool. Yeah, I know. I watched both of y'all's streams. I haven't watched any streams over the holidays either because I've been gone, so I didn't really notice that some of them have been up and down. I've been gone for the last couple weeks, but y'all are the streams that I watch because y'all are my paladin buddies. So
Them holidays.
yeah,
You were gone for like 2 weeks there, Sloot, right? About 2 weeks?
I was on
All 2
vacation
weeks.
in England
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks and then came back, and family came in for 2 weeks for holidays. So I've been gone from the streaming world for a nice chunk now, but it's back now.
And then you moved. Did you move before or after all that?
I moved right before England.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
technically right before England, but actually moved into my place after England. So
Damn.
no more crazy weird bookshelf thing in the back, I'm afraid.
Aw.
And the Tweety bird.
Aw.
Treckie.
Yeah.
Chat asks, why are you always saying I only have one taunt in method raids?
Because I only have one.
I mean, really, it's quite obvious because paladins
Well,
used to have two,
yeah,
now
but
you
it's
only have
'cause-
one. But
Yeah,
Oh,
because
man.
people don't understand how tanking works, and then they hate on the tank because you did what you were supposed to do, and it's like, well, someone else fucks up, and I don't know. I say that because I use my taunt to build as much threat as possible on one ad, and then if there's a second ad, you can't taunt that one for a few seconds, so
Yeah.
I have to do my best,
Just gotta let them know your stand. You gotta freak out a bit too.
Gotta freak
I
out a
only have
bit.
one taunt.
Oh, man.
if you couldn't play a prop paladin, what would be your next tank of choice? I guess we know what Sloot's answer is because he's got his warrior, but maybe that's dependent on what was called for in the tier.
Yeah, that depends so much on what we have. I'd honestly prefer. I'd go monk, I think, because we have a warrior tank. But honestly, warriors are really so strong that you can honestly have two of them at the same time in the raid, and it's usually not a situation you want to be in, that you have two of the same tanks at the same time, because one is usually strong at something, and then the other one picks up the slack where it's bad.
Well, but setting aside all of that, if you could just choose in a vacuum what your next favorite tank class would be.
Warrior right now.
Warrior.
Because they're as known for the mobility, and that's I don't think that's something that's gonna change, and that's just why I always
That's what I always loved about them.
yeah. Even doing Throne of Thunder, when everyone hated them, they did no damage compared to other tanks. It was just fun to play because of the mobility.
I've thought that watching videos. I don't have a warrior at max level, and that's my next class that I want to level, just because when you start as a paladin, and mobility's always been our weak point,
Yeah.
then you look at a class that has so much mobility and you're like, that looks like so much fun. And
That's why-
it's really
That's why I'm
appealing.
really hoping that next expansion they give us Holy Leap or something.
Holy.
But
Hey,
do you really want to give
out the-
us tools?
Hey, it's
and-
Fordring did it.
Because right now there's a fight, right? And warriors are like, oh no, there's a mob 100 yards away. It's like, I got this shit. And it's like, leap, charge, intervene. I'm here. What are you doing about that? And the paladin's still like,
Give us the teleport we have in Diablo, the Paladin class there. That's something.
Oh, yeah.
Falling
Well,
sword.
that's a Crusader, a Paladin.
Yeah, well,
Well, hey. Hey, I mean, Tyrion Fordring did it against Arthas. He got the ups. He had the ups. Where's
that
your
didn't
ups?
turn out so well for him, though.
Well, yeah. Hey, it's all right. It's okay. But I think this is good. Good to go. Thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you've missed previous episodes, the links are down below. Oh, hitting the wrong buttons. Boom, there it is. So, yeah, over on our YouTube is where our VODs go. And we are live every week, Sunday at 1 p.m. PST, 4 EST, and 10 CET. Again, next week is Elemental Shamans. We have Leads of Method and Tickle Totem of Pure. Oh, man. going back to some DPS episodes. And then the week after that is going to be something special. So stay tuned for that. And again, around the table real quick, Slootbag from Midwinter. Have fun on your movie tonight, sir.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. Thanks
Twitch,
for having me.
You're very welcome. Twitch.tv Slootbag is where you'll find all of his social media. And then Treckie from Method, same thing, twitch.tv/Treckie. Thank you again, sir.
Thanks for having me.
It was a lot of fun. And then Anna Feels over on the Twitters. You can go get Anna at Anna Feel on Twitter.
At Anna Feel, come find me on Twitter. Not all of it is relevant to WoW, but at least half of it is.
At least half of it is.
Yeah.
And then you'll find me over on twitch.tv BayTLM. That's where you'll find me outside of raids. And since Progression's done, I get to stream other games now. Woo! But until next week,
Yay!
we will see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the comment sections on YouTube. This VOD will be up tomorrow by about 5 Eastern. Thank you guys very much. And have a good night. Have a good reset. See you next week, guys. Bye!
Bye.
Later.